Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, Reactorites? John here, and I'm going to be talking about the Halo series on Paramount Plus. This is the highly anticipated show that's based on the best-selling video game of the same name, and at the center of it all, you have Pablo Schweber as Master Chief. Master Chief, he's a Spartan super soldier, and he was part of a program, the Spartan 2 program, created by Dr. Halsey, and he's out there fighting for mankind against the threat, an alien threat known as the Covenant. And this has been a project that's been years in the making. You have Steven Spielberg behind this project. You have 343 Industries behind this project. So with all of these high-profile talent working on the Halo series, how is it? So I was able to check out the first 2 episodes, and the positives that I really enjoyed are the special effects, especially the alien special effects, the Covenant special effects, the elites, and I also like the action sequences, especially when the Spartans come down to handle business. It looks cool, not like the greatest, oh my god, best action scenes ever, but it was still serviceable, and I was still pleasantly surprised watching it. However, everything else about the show feels like a low-budget sci-fi show. Like, it feels like it could be on the Sci-Fi Channel. And yeah, just the presentation with the cinematic look, the way it's shot, it just doesn't feel like a movie or a high-budget show. And also, there are things, creative decisions that will piss off some fans, especially with Master Chief. Master Chief has been known to be wearing the helmet. You don't know who or what he looks like underneath his helmet. And on the show, he reveals his face. And this is, it's a different medium. It's a TV show. They want to show a more emotive character, someone that you can watch and enjoy and learn more about and empathize with. And, in the video game, you're playing it with the controller. You're playing as Master Chief, so you feel like you're connected to the Master Chief. And so for the show, they're trying to make it so that you get to put down the controller, you get to watch this experience and watch and grow with Master Chief. And that's their thinking behind that on why they want to do that. However, we've had a very successful show on Disney Plus called The Mandalorian that's been able to pull off a character that wears a helmet that is still emotive, even though the whole helmet's shown and you don't even get to see the face. And I think The Mandalorian was able to pull that off, and that shows you how caring the Mandalorian can be and how the Mandalorian feels while doing that. And I think they could have done this with the Halo series, and I think they didn't try hard enough. I felt like they just kind of think that this other way of revealing Master Chief was a good option, but it's not going to be a good option for a lot of fans out there. I think a lot of fans are not going to be happy with this. And for those that aren't familiar with Halo, I think you'll be in for a treat, because you won't have this whole history behind who the Master Chief is. So on to the positives. Yes, the special effects, the CGI is pretty good for this Halo series. You get to see the Covenant, you get to see the Council, just like the face and the performances behind that, and also the elite soldiers, the Covenant elite. These guys look pretty badass. And the special effects, I did like some of the Easter eggs for fans with the first-person view, and also the sound effects from the weapons being used. You're like, oh yeah, that's this weapon, or that's the sword, and it does have things for fans to be excited about. But I think so far for the first 2 episodes, the way it looks, it just feels like a low-budget science fiction film or series. And the performances, the casting, I'm not a huge fan of the casting for this show. So yeah, so for the main character, you have the storyline of Master Chief coming to save this little village from this planet, and there's a lone survivor of Quan Ah. Quan Ah is played by Yaren Ha, and it's just this dynamic that I didn't really care about with Master Chief and this young survivor. It's like, why are we focused on this? I just want to see something else with the Master Chief doing something else. And I think it's just the relationship between the two characters. I just felt like their relationship with Quan and Master Chief wasn't at a good starting point because she's just very distrustful of the Spartans. And then it's getting bogged down because I want to just see like a story that just progresses further, just how badass the Master Chief can be. And also just him just doing his mission with the other Spartan soldiers and not worry about some young kid getting in the way. And it's just, I think it suffers from that. The whole, those movies or shows that have like the annoying character, the young annoying character that sticks around, and that means Master Chief or the other main characters has to just babysit. So this is kind of like the first 2 episodes of experiencing Master Chief babysitting someone, and that's not why I want to watch this show. I want to watch something where he kicks ass but still moves the story along and not being tied down to something. And I think the reason why the show wants to do this whole story with Quan is that they want to show Master Chief feeling human, like this is a story where he's serving under the UNSC, and there are things that the UNSC requires him to do or wants him to do, but his human side's struggling, and so he's going to be torn between doing the right thing or just completing his mission as a soldier. But so far, the way they presented this story, I'm not a huge fan of it. And for the first 2 episodes, they have been featuring Dr. Halsey. Dr. Halsey's very much for Master Chief, defending him and just trying to take care of him. And then you have the UNSC that's on the other end, that's very much against Master Chief and what he's doing. And so the show is creating this kind of rift between different people. But yeah, we do get to see all these characters from the Halo video games, based on the Halo video games. But they have been leading up to the creation of Cortana, a fan favorite character, the AI partner for Master Chief. And it's been teased, but I was able to see Jen Taylor, who voiced Cortana in the video games. She does reprise her role here. But in the first 2 episodes, I did not get to see that part for Jen Taylor. I was excited, but hopefully in the 3rd episode, we'll get to hear her voice and see her interact with the Master Chief, because that's going to be a moment where I think a lot of fans are going to enjoy of just the Master Chief and Cortana. That's what I want to see, and just this relationship. Like, that's the relationship I want to see, Master Chief and Cortana, and seeing how they try to help each other in trying to take down the alien threat. But yeah, so far, not yet sold on the show based on the first 2 episodes that I've seen. The special effects on the aliens are great. The action's pretty good. I enjoyed the action. It's pretty bloody, and it has Easter eggs from the Halo video games, like the first-person view. You have the HUD screen, you have the sound effects. I enjoyed them all, but things that could have been better would be the casting choices, the story, the look of the series, because it feels very low budget. And so I am still hopeful that the show is going to get better. It's going to pick up as the season goes on. But those are my thoughts as of now. So once the episode comes out, let me know what your thoughts are on the comments below. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.